So according to Eddie Hearn, he stated that Anthony Joshua suffered brain damage.
So I don't want to say that, but I'm hoping that some of the news we're hearing that he, doesn't.
Horrific accident that's happened on a very dangerous stretch of road.
Boxing World reacts to Anthony Joshua brain injury after horrific car accident. This wasn't just a crash, it was a nightmare. Two of AJ's close friends lost their lives, and Joshua himself survived with serious injuries. In seconds, a normal journey turned into tragedy, leaving the boxing world stunned, grieving, and fearing the worst for his future.
It's a case of dealing with the inquiries and the media, and you can imagine how many people are trying to find out.
For the first time, Eddie Hearn isn't talking about titles, contracts, or next fights. He's talking about survival. His focus on family and medical care tells you everything about how serious this accident was. When boxing's biggest promoter sounds shaken, it confirms that Anthony Joshua's condition has truly frightened everyone around him.
There for them and the family, anything they need. Sometimes when someone is a star, they have a lot of things in their life taken care of for them. So you really have to move into that mode in this situation as well. Make sure obviously they're getting the best medical attention, make sure their family are safe and happy, and as happy as...
Sonny Faz can't hide his disbelief. Just days ago, AJ was celebrating a massive fight win, enjoying fame and fortune. Now he's fighting for his life after a shocking crash that claimed two close friends. The raw horror of the accident has left everyone, including Sonny Faz, speechless and terrified for Joshua's future.
Weeks ago, this guy's in front of the whole world. Netflix, millions of dollars, breaks Jake Paul's jaw in 2 places. Decides to go back to Nigeria, almost dies. 2 of his closest friends pass away in the accident. You never know what days...
Pain Game is stunned by the scale of what AJ went through. He points out that even a man used to taking brutal hits in the ring is vulnerable now. Surviving a crash like this is one thing, but the physical toll and trauma leave everyone, fans and fighters alike, in shock and worried about his recovery.
Been through such a severe car accident there. Like, all right, he's lucky enough to still be alive, but fuck me, his body must be going through a lot right there. This is not a man who winces in pain easily, right? He gets punched for a living. And obviously, like, you're supposed to take people out of car accidents like that with great care because you don't want to...
Jake Paul sounded shaken when reacting to AJ's crash. This wasn't some fight night banter, this was real-life chaos. Just days after their huge fight, Joshua was in a deadly car wreck that killed 2 of his closest friends and left him hurt and hospitalized. Even Paul isn't cracking jokes. He's praying, worried, and honestly stunned by how quickly life flipped on AJ. Alexander Usyk went beyond boxing talk and spoke straight from the heart. He didn't just mention the crash, he honored 2 men who were like family to AJ. Losing team members and friends in a tragic accident hits deep, especially when AJ is already dealing with injuries and trauma in hospital. The respect from Usyk shows just how serious and heartbreaking this situation really is for Joshua and everyone around him.
Alexander Usyk said, "This is an unbelievable loss. Sinna Atlatif are 2 incredible people who were not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery. Stay strong, champ."
Joe Rogan drops a reaction that sounds wild, but it shows just how chaotic this crash was. Fans everywhere are saying it was a miracle Joshua even made it out alive after such a violent impact that killed 2 of his closest friends and team members. With videos showing AJ wincing in pain while being pulled from the wreck, you can sense the horror that unfolded on that highway.
That's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did,
there's no way.
He would be dead. Probably, or fucking severe.
Ryan Garcia's reaction is filled with sadness and prayerful vibes, showing that even fellow fighters are shaken by the news. After Joshua's horrific crash that killed 2 of his close aides and left AJ in hospital being treated, fighters aren't talking about wins or losses, they're praying for his life and the memories of those who didn't make it. Chris Eubank Jr. didn't come with jokes or drama, he came with real emotion. When Eubank speaks about AJ's crash, you can hear the weight behind it. This wasn't some online beef or boxing banter, this was a real human tragedy. Two of Joshua's closest friends, his strength coach and trainer, were killed instantly, and AJ himself was left injured, shaken, and hospitalized after smashing into a stationary truck in Nigeria. The whole boxing world is in disbelief, praying and asking how someone who just stood triumphant can be thrown into such horror in the blink of an eye. Chase Damore summed up exactly how fans everywhere are feeling right now. One minute AJ was celebrating victories and planning massive fights, the next he's fighting for his life in a hospital bed. After the horrific accident that killed two of his closest team members and left fans around the world in shock, Moore's reaction captures that mix of fear, disbelief, and raw emotion. People aren't talking boxing strategy anymore, they're talking mortality, heartbreak, and how quickly it all changed for Joshua and everyone who loves him. These official reports paint a chilling picture of what went down. According to police and safety officials, the Lexus SUV carrying AJ lost control and slammed into a stationary truck on a major Nigerian highway, killing two people on the spot, his friends and team members. Joshua was among the injured and rushed to hospital, visibly shaken and in pain. Footage online even shows him being pulled from the wreck with visible discomfort. The whole nation watched in horror as the scene unfolded, a stark reminder that even the biggest stars are vulnerable in real life.
Truck collided with a stationary truck. However, the exact circumstances of the crash are still under investigation. A video of the incident just you've seen, the 35-year-old former heavyweight champion being rescued from the wrecked vehicle appears to have suffered injury. So the traffic officials have spoken about this incident. Let's take a listen to them.
What we'll discover was that men at Shagam unit informed us of the unfortunate incident. From what we got to understand was that there was a trailer that was parked at the shoulder, whereby the vehicle conveying Anthony Joshua and his team did a wrongful overtake, and they ran into that vehicle, which was definitely because of the overspeeding. I didn't mean to no overspeeding, probably that wouldn't have been that fatal. Now, from the report we have 5 people were involved in the total. 2 people lost their lives, and the rest just had injuries. He was not among the people that died anyway, but the DSS details that were with him took him to an undisclosed location, took him to an hospital.
Showbiz the adult tries to deliver the facts, but let's be honest, this isn't just another breaking news clip. This crash has turned one of boxing's biggest stars' life upside down. Joshua had just celebrated a huge victory, and now footage shows him being pulled from the wreckage in visible pain, dazed and shaken after his SUV smashed into a stationary truck on a major Nigerian highway. 2 of his closest friends and team members, Sina Gami and Lateef Ayodele, were killed instantly in the collision, deeply shocking the sport. AJ survived but is in hospital under observation, and fans, fighters, and pundits are struggling to process how quickly a whole life, money, fame, future fights can be derailed by one terrifying moment on the road.
Anthony Joshua's SUV struck the stationary truck. So I just want to give you guys the breaking news. Unfortunately, Anthony Joshua was involved in a car accident in Nigeria. Prayers to Anthony H.A. Joshua and
Liam Goff's reaction captures the heartbreak and shock reverberating through the boxing world. Just days after celebrating a major fight victory, Anthony Joshua finds himself at the center of a devastating tragedy that claimed the lives of 2 of his closest friends and team members. Goff emphasizes the human side of this story, reminding viewers that behind every superstar is a network of people whose lives are deeply affected. The outpouring of prayers, condolences, and messages from fellow fighters, fans, and commentators underlines just how serious and shocking this accident is. AJ's road to recovery now isn't just about physical injuries, it's about navigating emotional trauma, mourning lost friends, and finding strength to continue in the sport and in life.
Anthony Joshua injured in car accident. 2 people who I believe were with Anthony Joshua were friends of his have tragically passed away. Before I carry on reading the article, the 2 people who have tragically passed, my condolences is all I can say to their friends and families. We'll definitely offer up some prayers for them.
Tony Bellu's reaction cuts deeper than most. When he talks about AJ being dazed and seriously hurt, he's not just speculating, he's recognizing how real and terrifying this situation truly is. Footage and eyewitness accounts show Joshua visibly shaken, unable to speak right after the crash, and sitting amidst broken glass after the Lexus he was in slammed into a stationary truck on a major Nigerian highway. 2 of his closest friends, his personal trainer and strength coach, died in the collision, turning what should have been happy memories from a recent fight victory into a nightmare. Bellu isn't talking boxing anymore, he's talking about life, pain, loss, and compassion, reminding everyone that AJ is facing one of the hardest moments of his life, far from the ring and surrounded by grief.
He could get seriously hurt. I don't believe Josh would have. I believe Josh might have some compassion in him.
Hearing Anthony Joshua reflect on life goals and priorities hits hard now in light of this accident. Just days after talking about sacrifices, family, and returning to what matters most, he finds himself fighting a very different battle this time off the boxing stage, in a hospital bed in Nigeria. Earlier this week, he was focused on legacy and career, but after a violent crash that claimed the lives of his strength coach and close friend, everything has shifted. Fans aren't debating belts or fight dates, they're praying he makes it through this week. The fear that one split second on the road could wipe out years of hard work and memories has made the entire boxing world stop and reflect on how unpredictable life can be, even for the toughest athletes.
I realized that I was working away from home, I was spending time with my friends, and my wife wasn't happy. So I had to kind of look at the decisions I was making, and I had to come back home to boxing, and I had to sacrifice, I had to take a look at my life, make necessary changes to put my love back to the...
These reports paint the full emotional scale of the tragedy. Anthony Joshua's last moments before the crash were joyful laughing with one of the friends who would be killed moments later. 2 trusted team members, his strength coach and personal trainer, died instantly in the wreck, turning celebration into horror. Videos circulating show AJ being pulled out of the wrecked SUV, visibly dazed and in pain, a stark reminder that even the toughest fighters aren't immune to life's brutal randomness. The boxing world has responded with heartbreak and solidarity, names like Chris Eubank Jr., Tyson Fury, and Jake Paul offering condolences, showing just how deep the shock runs. Rarely does a single incident shake the sport so profoundly, but this one has left everyone questioning how a man who looked invincible just days ago now lies in a hospital bed.
We have updates on the tragic car crash involving Anthony Joshua. The fatal car crash claimed the lives of 2 people who we now know to be his strength and conditioning coach Sina Evolve Gami and his close friend Latif. Badu Jack, who is a 3-division boxing world champion, confirmed on Instagram that Latif, aka Lats, was one of the 2 people killed. In fact, Joshua's last Instagram story before the crash was with Lats playing ping pong. The Federal Road Safety Corps in Nigeria said preliminary reports show that Joshua was in the backseat of a black Lexus truck, which was suspected to be going over the speed limit. Several boxers shared their condolences, including Chris Eubanks and Jake Paul. We will continue to update with anything we learn.
Eddie Hearn's reaction lays bare the tension everyone feels right now. He's not talking about revenue, contracts, or future fights, he's talking about simple hope. After Anthony Joshua's vehicle collided with a stationary truck on a major Nigerian highway, 2 of his closest friends and team members were killed instantly, and AJ was rushed to hospital, dazed and shaken. Officials and medical teams now say he's in a stable condition, but seeing footage of him wincing in pain while being helped out of the wreck makes it painfully clear how close he came to worse. The promoter's cautious optimism highlights the seriousness of the crash. This isn't just another boxing injury, it's a life and death situation that could easily have taken far more from Joshua than it already has, leaving fans around the world holding their breath for every update.
Again, I don't know, so I don't want to say that, but I'm hoping that some of the news we're hearing that it doesn't look like he has any major injuries is true, and that would be fantastic, and obviously be a very lucky boy if that was the...
Just days after AJ's big win in global spotlight, The nightmare unfolded on a Nigerian highway when his SUV careened into a stationary truck, killing 2 of his closest friends and team members and leaving Joshua injured and shaken. The boxing community and fans worldwide are in disbelief, flooding social media with prayers, tributes, and emotional reactions. Even rival stars and promoters have paused the sport to acknowledge how fragile life can be outside the ring as updates confirm AJ is in stable condition under hospital observation. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think this tragedy will change Joshua's future in boxing or his life outlook forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for the next update.